Looks like Joe Halton is asking, the SEC recently declared 9 coins, including AMP, as security. Do you think the SEC's crusade against crypto will have any real impact on the crypto sphere as a whole? I'll let you answer that, but I know you're not American, so what does the SEC know about you? But I'll answer it after you do.
Yeah, so what is SEC?
Security Exchange Commission. Basically, they're asking about U.S. law. That's, the current reality for Ergo is there is one footprint in the United States right now, and that's me, right? So the SEC can do kind of whatever it wants, and being that we're a company based in Singapore, and right now we don't have exposure in U.S. markets. Now, certainly the SEC does set precedent, right? Unfortunately, if you look at the legal side of the space right now, any lawyer you talk to will just basically say it's foggy, right? And it's kind of crazy. You're paying someone that's like, well, I really don't know, but this is the general consensus of what things are. And then you add another layer of complexity, like what's next. The SEC, yeah, they have the potential to, let's just say, take the fog in the space, rapidly lift it, and, you may have projects or things that are now on the rocks or, crashed, and other things that are still in the sea. And nobody has any idea what that's even going to look like. The reality is Washington, D.C. is going to be slow. So I know that, there have been some proposals out there that, people liked or, were opposed to, but taking into account the overall legislation process or legislative process in the U.S., I don't think that'll happen this year. It's an election year, maybe next year, but then we'll see. So the reality is, it's like you're predicting, what is just unknown. Could they have a real impact on the crypto sphere as a whole? Sure. Do I think it's going to go away? No, I think that if anything, they will limit some liquidity from U.S. markets. The best people in the U.S., if that's the case, will just use jurisdictional arbitrage, move to another place, start companies in different areas, and, get their footprint out of the U.S. Now, if that ever became a serious issue for Ergo, to where I became a liability being in the U.S., I would resign and just do the same thing on the side personally. And so then, there's no legal liability, just personal liability. But, it's a hobby, a passion, and I don't mind that. But I'd be happy to still support the ecosystem. So we'll see what happens. I don't think the SEC is going to be what determines the destiny of this space. And the reality is we came from a certain mindset to get rid of third parties and intermediaries and simply create systems that work around them through a trustless distributed environment. So why is that? Why does that need to change? Even if the third party wants to be the third wheel. What do you think, Alex?
So it seems it could be beneficial for proof of work coins, even, right, in certain scenarios. So AMP and what else is there?
There was a couple. I believe there was some sketchiness with where listing manager or someone high up in Coinbase was, basically front running listings and doing some insider trading, that kind of thing. And so I believe a certain subset of coins that were on Coinbase, basically were declared a security. And so then it creates legal drama.
I see. So it seems for years to come, there are low-hanging fruits.
Yeah.
Right. So to pick before proof of work cryptocurrencies like Ergo and Bitcoin. So we have a lot of governance tokens, right, which probably securities, right? But I can just speculate on laws of unknown jurisdiction. But yeah, then we have governance tokens, then some exchange tokens, right? I don't know how controversial they are from legal perspective. Then proof of stake and so on, right? And yeah, so it seems proof of work cryptocurrencies is the most clean, right, kind of tokens.
Yeah, that's hard to say. There's a very, very small part of me every once in a while that thinks, well, if there is, let's just say an all-out assault on cryptocurrency as a whole, then number one, we're going to see the projects that were actually built to be resilient, right? And number two, it might actually force a lot of users and developers to really think about how do we create P2P value and P2P economies versus speculative gains. So worst case, we'll adapt. I think Ergo was built the right way to where, in a hostile environment, which, that's one thing I have to respect about Bitcoin is that network did spin up in an environment where no one knew what it was, and there was no friendly jurisdiction, so to speak. They kind of had to figure it out. So we'll see what happens. What's your take on that, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, when I entered this space, actually, it was all the time in the air, right? That everything will be bent and bent hard.
Yeah.
So 10 years after that's still not happened. So yeah, it seems people are much more relaxed now and not preparing for a worst case scenario even. And yeah, probably it won't happen even, at least in observable future, but who knows. But yeah, I mean, probably it will be not harsh ban, right? Otherwise, it was a good chance to introduce it back in 2012, right? Something like that, 2011. Now probably kind of too late to ban Bitcoin, right? And then Ergo is not very different from Bitcoin, I guess. But then, yeah, we have a pretty big zoo, like mixers on top of Bitcoin, right? So mixing protocols on top of Ergo, stable coins on top of Ergo, and other proof of work cryptocurrencies, then proof of stake, right? Then DeFi products on them, then DeFi products with governance tokens, right? So yeah, so something could be cut, probably. Let's see.
We'll see.